A fake news site the other day called OAN basically went full fascist, and they called for mass executions over people denying the election fraud. One American news personality, Pearson Sharp, unleashed an openly fascistic, a, a fascistic fantasy this week, calling for the mass executions for thousands of Americans based on his belief in the outright false claim that widespread voter fraud amounted to a coup against the former squatter Donald Trump. Since last November's election, in which Joe Biden handily defeated Trump, the fake news organization OAN has led the charge in peddling the unhinged conspiracy theory in order to push the ex-squatter's big lie that the election was stolen from him, which in reality it wasn't. In recent weeks, the Fringe Network has sponsored the so-called Arizona election audit with the OAN host Christina Bobb fundraising for the effort while also serving as a legal advisor to Trump. The GOP-led recount in Arizona, a state that Biden won, has led the right-wing media figures to push for other audits in battleground states that Trump lost a lot in, resulting in the false belief that the ex-squatter will eventually be reinstated this summer, which won't happen. And Trump has naturally latched onto this insane conspiracy theory. And during an on-air essay that first aired Tuesday night, Sharp, who has repeatedly lied about the 2020 election and January 6th insurrection, embraced these latest attempts to discredit Biden's victory to call for harsh retribution against the Democrats. Citing the long debunked claims that there was widespread problems with voting integrity in 2020, Sharp claimed that the radical Democrats, which technically anybody that's radical is actually Republicans, he basically said that the Democrats left fingerprints all over the country, providing a trail of evidence that the 2020 election was not only tampered with, but it was actually overthrown. No, it wasn't. He then said that this raises questions over the level of involvement in the non-existent election fraud. How many people were involved in these efforts to undermine the election? Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, dramatically asked. And how many does it take to carry out a coup against the squatter? The OAN windbag continued when all the dust settles from the audit in Arizona and the potential audits in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Wisconsin. What happens to all these people who are responsible for overthrowing the election? What are the consequences for traitors who meddle with our sacred democratic process and tried to steal power by taking away the voices of the American people? And what happens to them? In a hauntingly calm manner, Sharp answered his own question. Well, in the past, America had a very good solution for dealing with such traitors: execution. He bluntly declared. Treason is considered the highest of all crimes and is the only crime defined in the U.S. Constitution, which states that anyone is guilty of treason to support American enemies. Sharp added, that would be Trump then. So far, there have been numerous indications that the foreign governments, including China and Pakistan, meddled in our election to install Joe Biden as president. No, there wasn't. He concluded, any Americans involved in these efforts, from those who ran the voting machines to the very highest government officials, is guilty of treason under U.S. Code 2381, which carries with it the penalty of death. The fake news organization, One America News, did not respond to a request for further clarification of Sharp's remarks appearing to call for mass execution. But after first sharing the clip of Sharp's essay online, the Daily Beast's Will Sumner noted that adherents of dangerous far-right conspiracy QAnon see this commentary as proof that the mass executions are right around the corner, and Q followers have long waited for prominent Democrats, who they believe to be part of a satanic child sex cabal, to be executed en masse, or something like that. Hold on here. Meanwhile, Sharp contends that other audits will finally provide overwhelming proof of widespread voter fraud, which they won't. And new report spearheaded by Michigan Republican comprehensively debunks the array of false election claims made by Trump, his legal team, and other right-wing sycophants. The report even calls for the state's attorney general to consider investigating those who peddled false information about vote counts in the state to raise money or publicity for their own ends. Yep.